Oh, yeah. Let's crack one open to Metroid Prime, baby.
How's it going?
Oh, man, it is going. This one has been on our list for a little while, and I'm glad we waited because,
Yeah.
what do you know? Oh, yeah, hey,
Now
Sparks,
we got a remaster.
we are back indeed, Sparks. Go figure, last week, the week before one of the busiest seasons of the church year, ended up being kind of a hot mess for me, and then we were going to stream on Sunday, but someone had to go and drop dead, so here we are. Welcome back to Play the Hits. This is Metroid Prime.
Oh, man. What was I gonna say? I know I see the chat and everything, but as far as the stream, it's just the even though it doesn't look like full screen on my end, that's all good, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yep, you're good.
I forget how these things work.
Yeah. Someone in the church died, and so I got a little sidetracked on Sunday.
I can imagine.
Yeah, that does happen to the best of us.
It happens. Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
We had just obviously won't get into specifics, but we had 3 patients in January pass away. Not not during treatment or anything, but right
during catheterization.
Oh God.
God, there's a lot of bad ways to go. I don't want to go during that.
Oh wow, that's
the last sensation you feel on Earth is your pee hole being violated.
Going into I guess the rigor would kind of make it easier.
Yeah, easier for the nurse for sure. Isn't that what matters?
Definitely easier when it's hard. So
yeah. So seeing completely different topics, seeing this in motion they really cranked up the visuals a notch on this bad boy. Like, I remember what the GameCube version looked like, and this is largely how I remember it looking, but at the same time, the amount of extra detail that is present is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the planet right now, and I could tell, that's, okay, something where it's, definitely high definition. You're right that it's one of those things where it's they do it in a way, it's this is how I remember it, and you really have to see it side by side with the original GameCube version to be like, oh shit, okay, oh god, yeah, that would be terrible.
One of the PTH people died. Yeah, Nick is no longer with us. Sorry, Nick. Rest in peace.
He's always with us.
That's why we cracked one open. But no, essentially the way that I kind of see this right now, it's almost like if Metroid Prime had been released as a PS3 era game instead of a GameCube era game.
Yeah, basically.
Ooh, that feels nice.
That next generation, there was an actual difference with the other systems.
Yeah. Oh, where are my options? There we go. Catarls.
Oh man, it really the visuals are really nice, but it just feels like Metroid Prime with the sounds and everything. Obviously, it's going to be like that. It's just kind of, I don't know, kind of took me back.
Yeah. Okay, let's try that. Just a little above halfway. And lock on free aim. The targeting reticle will remain fixed on enemies while locked onto them. Yes. I don't know what that means. Gyro, stick, but use motion controls to fine-tune targeting reticle. Use right stick to fine-tune the targeting reticle when locked onto enemies. No, fuck the gyro. Yeah, that's what I remember, so I'm going to start with that and see. Recenter camera on. The camera will not vertically readjust itself as Samus moves. I actually kind of think I would like that to happen a little bit. Well, or what? Well, that's more like if because I've got the right stick, so never mind. Well, we'll keep that off right now. Jump footing check. Camera will not automatically face downward when Samus jump. Ooh, that might actually be kind of
sounds nice. Like a lot of stuff that it's like
quality of life
have to mess with it, and see what the default is.
Yeah, I'll start with the default. We're not inverting shit.
If the default is GameCube or if it's modern, It's always interesting to see. I don't know if I'm assuming they did this for the console versions as well with The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
But they tried, you have the sensitivity. But they they tried to make like the camera angles on Witcher 3 more modern with this newest, the 4.0 update, and I fucking hate it.
Oh, really?
It is awful. Yeah, because by default it got really close to Geralt, like almost over the shoulder, but not quite.
Really?
And I was like, that is not how you play this game.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I did notice that in the HD the 4K update. Oh right.
Yeah.
Did I do something wrong? Oh yeah, and Sparks, these graphics are crisp indeed. Yeah, I don't think I need the auto look down thing. This will be fine. It is really nice, like, just to shoot with the right trigger.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the Switch's Pro controller doesn't like have like triggers the way that like PS4 or 5 does, but they still feel like it feels natural. Like the general FPS control scheme post 2004 has kind of been established.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's nice just to have this game feel that way automatically.
I still need to like mess with the PS5 controller more, because I feel like I definitely the few times I've like picked it up at your place, I haven't really felt the trigger so much. It just feels like, you know, the trigger's on a Pro controller or a PS4 controller.
Yeah.
And I know they can definitely do, like, there's the haptics and the like resistance and stuff like that. So
oh yeah, the PS5 control, like, it's one of those like small improvements, but like once you get used to it, it feels weird when you go back, which is kind of a strange thing.
Hey, do you so on the Steam Deck they have all those like the 3 extra buttons on the back? Do you ever use those for anything?
Actually, so the with the Steam Deck, yes. Like I essentially turn them off for like more console style games, but I do, interestingly enough, use them as my F5 and F9 keys for games where I do a lot of quick saving and quick loading. Like, okay, I think I shared with you how with Disco Elysium, like I save scummed a lot in that game. Yeah. And so it was really nice to have F5 and F9 just right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like my first playthrough, I essentially was like, okay, I want to get like the best possible good guy ending sort of thing.
Yeah, you have like the what do you call it? The final version or something?
Yeah. Well, you gifted it to me. Yeah, it was the final cut.
Okay. I kind of forgot about that.
Oh, that's kind of nice too. If you click the right stick, it takes you right out of the visor. You guys about to eat some shit.
Oh, okay. That is nice.
You gonna shoot at me?
There were no like stick presses back in the day.
Yeah, he did. He shot at me. Look at that fucker.
He shot at you. He definitely had his own problems, and he still tried to shoot at you.
With my last breath, I curse Zoidberg. Yeah, shooting using a trigger. Who'da thunk?
Okay, that is kind of nice with the getting out of the visor, because you gotta switch to the visors a lot.
Yeah, you do. Like, essentially, if you walk into a new room, you just want to, like, whip out your scanning visor.
You need to, yeah, exactly. It's like your detective mode.
We're not going 100% in this run, but I'll scam where I remember to scam. Scam? Scan. Come on, Chris. Oh, so how's the last 2 weeks been for you, buddy?
They've been pretty good. Work is picking up again to the point where, like, the days are kind of feeling quote-unquote normal. Where I'm getting my full hours, which is nice because I need that. Definitely need the money. But yeah,
money, baby.
Had a nice date last Friday. That was really cool. Yeah. Yeah. Aside from that, nothing extraordinary. I feel like, what am I playing right now? I'm doing a randomizer, and literally yesterday, I feel like such an idiot that I'm doing like, I don't know, my 8th randomizer or something like that. And like, I fucking don't get tired of it. And
it's so great. Yeah. Dude, did you see that Super Mario RPG randomizer?
Yeah,
Shit.
dude, the one you linked. Yeah, that's I didn't actually check out like if it's a video or something, but
Yeah.
it sounds like the whole of the map is available to you, and
So basically,
can-
like you go around and you basically have to find the 7 stars, and the party members are in random places, and equipment is
that's
random.
cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
it is. But like every dungeon and location that you can go to is available from the beginning. And I think they do something. I think there's options, but I believe one of them is like they kind of scale the enemy levels a little bit somehow. So that like, you know, it to like keep people from like basically playing the game in the order that they play it in anyways. Like you can jump in the volcano right away and stand a chance.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the randomizer we've been doing is, I mean, I guess Link to the Past and Super Metroid, the enemies get harder as you go through the vanilla game, but it's nothing unmanageable,
right?
Even with beginning of the game stuff. So,
right.
Also, I think we kind of lose sight of the fact that we're really good at those games, and I guess it would be like the other day I saw a project on GitHub that was like, oh, making the Legend of Zelda and Super Metroid randomizer more accessible. And it's like, it's not accessible? Like,
right?
And it's like, okay, people don't like wall jumping, I guess.
Oh, Spark says there's a Super Mario 64 randomizer.
Holy shit.
That would be interesting.
That, I am super interested in that. Mario 64 is definitely a game these days where it's not like, oh my god, this is the best game. Like, I have really fond memories of it.
Yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
It's a fun game to beat quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to just get stars as quickly as possible. Because
right.
a lot of those stars you could just, like, cheat out, you know? It's not like these days where Galaxy you have to go through and, you know, see everything that they built, which I get.
Right.
But there's something special about, okay, this is how, oh, you're just going to wall jump and get the star, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm. and, you know, we kind of established that when we played through the vanilla game on Play the Hits. It was still a really good game, but I was surprised, actually. Like, that was probably the first playthrough I'd done where I really felt like, okay, some of this aged. And I think, I think part of that, though, was the fact that we weren't playing it on the N64. Or even like the Wii U, or sorry, the Nintendo Switch version, which is supposedly a bit better. But we were playing it on the Wii or the Wii U using like a horrible Wii controller, and it felt like shit. It really did.
Yeah, I can. Man, the Wii U, what a time!
That thing like, felt bad.
Here's a new system, and yeah, we kind of make fun that. How dumb are people that they got confused, but literally it makes sense. It's you used old Wii peripherals to play the system. Like what the fuck?
But yeah, like that Wii controller was not great. And
like the classic controller?
Yes. And I know there's like a lot of, you know, It always sounds bad to blame the controller, but I'm blaming the controller just a little bit. Like, there was some major input delay, which really mattered for things like, you know, precision long jumps and things like that.
Yeah. It's, it was cool what they did, where it's like, hey, you want to play some old Sonic and some old Super Nintendo games? Here's a controller.
You want to smoke with Shigeru Miyamoto? Play some old Sonic? Shiggy would do that shit.
But they were definitely, the Wii was like the height of like kind of the casual, hey, look at these fun things. And
yeah, the fact that it was even running on that was really cool.
You compare like the classic controller to like a pro controller, even the Wii U Pro controller, which
I never owned.
Much the same thing. It's like
Switch.
The same thing as the Switch one. It's just a little bit lighter.
Okay.
But the battery also lasts like 80 hours instead of 40. Shit. It's fucking nuts. But it doesn't have the gyroscope.
Even a 40-hour battery on a game controller is pretty darn nice.
Yeah.
How did it say to shoot missiles?
Oh, I didn't even.
R1.
How do you?
There we go.
But oh, do you? Why did I think you had to unlock the charging your beam up to get things to kind of home in on you?
You do.
Wait. So did you just get that like within the last 5 minutes or something?
Oh, you start out with it, and Samus loses all of her
Oh, you
stuff.
lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
It's kind of cool because you start off with some stuff just to like kind of give you a feel for the game,
Yeah.
and then they strip all of it away when you land on Talon 4.
Yeah, they always find a way to do that.
Yes. Though in most Metroid games, it's just like, hey, Samus doesn't have her shit anymore.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Here, at least, there's kind of some story. This game, if I remember right, takes place between Metroid 2 and Super Metroid.
Oh, I thought it was 1 and 2.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Samus Returns. But I could be wrong.
By the time Metroid 3 rolls around, like, there's only the baby Metroid left, and all the other Metroids are supposed to be dead.
I think it was something weird, like Nintendo sandwiched in like the whole Metroid Prime original trilogy between the second one and Super.
Maybe it's somewhere. We definitely know it's
something
before
weird
Super.
like that. Yeah,
it's before Super.
Sparks, 40 hours is nothing to sneeze at.
No, that's true. I mean, the Xbox controllers, is it, aside from the Elite controller, it's still your own batteries, right? Or you have to buy a special... Yeah, so that kind of doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the PlayStation controllers, especially the PS4. I know the PS5 controller's a little better, but the PS4 controllers, compared to like the Switch one, they need to up their game.
The PS5's as bad, if not worse. And like,
shit.
You know, that's still my principal complaint about the Steam Deck, which, by the way, is probably my favorite console of all time now. It's just so good.
It's
because there's nothing it can't do. Like, it's not just a Steam Deck. It's basically a tribute to the last 30 years of gaming.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it is the culmination of not just the technology, but the games themselves, because you can play everything. One, you can play all of your Steam games, which, you know, include, you know, a variety of, like, the best games ever made.
But then there's also the gamut of the last 30 years.
Yeah, then there's also the emulation thing, which is...
Yeah. That's why I felt the intro movie, because you can, like, you know, choose whatever one you want and add any movie file.
Yeah.
The one that someone made of just like all the systems.
Oh, the handheld systems evolving.
Yeah, and then it transforms into the Steam Deck. I'm like, that
right.
seemed the most appropriate.
That is correct.
Because that's what it is.
Come on.
And you could do any of that.
Visor's a little shitty right now. There you go.
What's going on?
It would not log onto that one. I don't know why I'm doing this. I said we weren't going to be completionists.
Yeah, that's fine. But there's an achievement for scanning everything in the game.
Which is kind of what I'm thinking, like, because the ones on the ship you can only do
while you're
now,
here.
But Talon 4, you can always go back to most, if not all, areas.
Yeah. I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm assuming it includes the ones on the ship, but there are a lot of things to scan here.
Oh, yeah. Half of them are space pirates' corpses. Wait, what was that?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fuck, we did. Oh, god damn it. Just in case I missed something. Oh, I did miss something.
You did? Yep. Okay.
Zoomer. That's just the elevator. Fucking Zoomers. Actually, we've been over this. I like the Zoomers. It's the Boomers I'm pissed at right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Fucking Boomers.
God, fucking Boomers.
I get it.
I dropped my headset.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, no. I can't hear Max. There we go. Now I can hear Max.
I gotta send you a clip later of just Bane from the Harley Quinn show, and it's just he's getting like a juice at Jamba Juice or something, and they're like, what did they say? They called him something stupid, like blame or something like that. And it's just like, it's Bane. You know it's Bane, Todd. I come here every week. Goddamn millennials.
Goddamn millennials.
I just love that in the Tom Hardy voice. Goddamn millennials.
Hey, thanks for sticking around, Sparks.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Thanks.
Didn't I already scan that? Whatever. Die.
This reminds me, I still need to beat Metroid Dread.
You haven't? Oh, we beat it on the channel, but you haven't beat like your private playthrough yet?
No. In fact,
shit.
I'm not very far at all. I think I beat one Emmy.
It's like, Chris beat it for me.
No, I think I'm gonna start fresh.
Yeah,
and
that's
just
probably a good idea.
Just try to get back into it, and because
Dude, the
playing
Switch,
Super Metroid a lot lately.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like giving me the hankering. Like I got a whole brand new Metroid game. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Right. But the Switch has kicked so much ass in the what now, like 5-6 years it's been out.
I think, 6 years. I was thinking like, oh,
God,
are we
old.
I guess we're in year 7, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine lightning. Feels that way sometimes. Star Wars crossover.
Right. But wait, have I scanned an energy? Yeah. Yes, I have.
Even the first 2 Metroid Prime games that are, feel a lot different from the third one, where the third one sometimes feels like Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Even these games definitely had a different feel from the original Metroid games, where it just didn't seem as, I don't know, isolated. Obviously, you're pretty much by yourself, as far as like being a bounty hunter and stuff on what is the name of the planet in this one? Talon 4. Talon 4. But yeah, I don't know if it's just the scanning and the voices and stuff that it's a different feel, different flavor, for sure.
Definitely. And that's what was so great about the Prime, at least the first 2 Primes, is they really did feel like an entirely different genre from other first-person shooters.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
It was absolutely a Metroid game first and a shooter second.
That's true. It was a little bit more, just felt slightly slower paced because of the exploring.
Even with these controls, like it is very clearly its own beast. Like it does not feel like, say, Doom Eternal just because they've added in the second stick.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting that you had to up the speed, because I feel like that kind of is how it was, where you didn't really move around that quickly, or even like whip around that quickly. Mm-hmm. It was a little bit more methodical.
Oh, definitely.
And the game was never, the difficulty was almost never like, oh my god, you need to aim just right. Like obviously there's the auto,
lock on, which I'm still obviously making liberal use of, even with the second stick.
Yeah, that's part of the game.
Like essentially, like the right stick, the way that I'm kind of using it right now is just makes it easier to look around and navigate the environment. Whereas the lock on really is how you aim.
Yeah, was obviously necessary on the GameCube, but yeah, it's this thing.
Parasite Queen. My queen. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I want to scan. Anything else?
I'm watching Bee and Puppy Cat again, and I just think of, when you said my queen, I think of Golden Boy and
my queen.
That I'm positive that guy that voiced Kentaro Oi voices a character in Bee and Puppy Cat. It sounds
really?
Like him. Yeah.
I can't remember Kotaro's English voice very well. Because, I mean, I think the last time I watched that anime was when you brought it over to my house in 2001.
Probably, I was about to say, like, not too far after the 90s.
Yeah, that was... By the way, how's the volume on your end?
It's fine. It cuts out, but it's all good. I know the deal with this game.
And as long as you can hear most of it, and, like, it's substantially better than, like, what happens on the... If we try to stream it from the Elgato software, because then it doesn't just cut out. Yeah, it doesn't just cut out for you; it cuts out for the recording too, which sucks.
Yeah, we'll have to try that out again one of these days. But I'm thinking if nothing major has changed, excuse me. Mm-hmm. If nothing has changed, the old Metroid standby, blowing up the base.
Right. Maybe when I get my new computer, we'll try the Elgato software again. Maybe it's just like
I was gonna say
the fact that my computer is aging.
And obviously, I'm assuming there's been no update for the Elgato, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I can't imagine that. I for one thing, I don't think I've updated, or if it auto updates, I haven't noticed anything substantially different. They sure as hell haven't improved the interface. Which has always been my chief complaint about it.
Yeah, it looks like, what was that music program from like the early 2000s? Banana Wire or something like that. It just looks
LimeWire?
No, not LimeWire. It was something you made your music on, but it was very chintzy. Huh. I don't know. Not Discord. The Elgato interface just seems like something from 2005, you know?
Oh, that thing's dead. This creature is deceased.
It's deceased, yes.
Yeah, just a hair. Oh, God. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I basically the only thing that I'm currently saving up for right now is, my next PC. And so when that finally happens, we'll go ahead and just give it a shot. I'm also going to have, the other painful thing about upgrading the computer isn't just that I'm so used to this system. I'm going to have to figure out how to do a different video editing software, because I don't think the Windows Movie Maker, expired copy is going to run it all on Windows 11. I could be wrong. But...
Yeah. I mean, I have to think there's freeware that's super user friendly.
Yeah, and I mean, even basic features you can't really do in the Windows Movie Maker. So it would be nice, if I learned how to do something different, just to give ourselves a basic set of tools that the rest of YouTube has been using for 10 years.
But it's just, I get it. You've gotten used to it.
I have. It's the only thing I know how to use. Literally,
it's kind of interesting
I have no
how
training.
much that you've done with it. I'm a little impressed. It's kind of you've made some art in MS Paint or something.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's right. I'm not blowing my own horn, but I'm proud of myself for
I'll blow it.
What I've you do like to just over the last few years, starting out with not even knowing Windows Movie Maker and just barely able to get our videos to be cropped together with an intro and outro, to doing some stupid effects with your photos and that one episode with Nick and other things, or random music videos,
or a Mr. X music video or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing I've noticed about
he does.
doing. Thank you, Sparks. One thing I've noticed about those videos in particular, the ones like AMVs or whatever, I have to be careful with how detailed I actually make them, because if I crop together more than about 20 videos into one long video, the program will just eat itself and crash.
Oh yeah,
and I'll have nothing.
Definitely sounds like you could use an upgrade there.
Exactly, and again, the software, Windows Movie Maker, literally has not been updated since 2012. That was the last time it had an official.
And I see
release.
you have kids on TikTok. This is mobile phone software that are making super sophisticated.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Connor is amazing. He can make those things, just using his iPad.
How does this happen?
I don't know. And I was thinking to myself, God, I would have him edit Play the Hits if I wanted him to hear what I say on Play the Hits.
Right. It's aren't we on the forefront of technology? How do the kids still manage to one-up us?
Honestly, Apple, going back to my love of all things Apple right now, it is so user-friendly that I can absolutely see how... Did I just kill myself?
What happened?
Oh, I see what happened. I was looking for an item and it pushed me back down the corridor, but I got stuck in between it and the door frame there for a second.
Okay.
But yeah, Apple is so user-friendly that, basic video effects really are easy to do. But if I were to use my work laptop to do that, it would be one more step. I would have to pull the video file off of... fucking Ridley. Oh, that looks cool. Ooh, he looks a lot different.
Yeah.
He's not completely he's not completely mechanical. They gave him some of his organic stuff back.
So,
it's kind of like he's wearing armor.
This is something that I only figured out a week ago, literally, is that Meta Ridley here is different from Mecha Ridley.
Right.
that they're different things. And I was like, wait, what? Like,
Well, but in here though, like in the original Metroid Prime, he was like fully mechanical. I know that you're right. They are two different characters canonically, but he was way more mechanical. Yeah, like he had a robo face.
I thought that was corruption, that he was fully mechanical.
No, he was really. I mean, go ahead again.
I mean,
it's been over a decade since I last played this, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was like really mechanical in this one.
She looks so weird.
I know, without the
NES Samus without the big shoulder pads.
Right. Well, what's really funny is like with this suit, it kind of draws attention to the fact that like she does not have human proportions at all when she's in the suit.
When she's in the
like
suit,
her arms would be like stretched out, like her shoulder blades would be ripped out of their sockets.
And yeah, Addie, if only we did, but I don't think you'd want to be going through every video.
Yeah, because what I'd like to do long term is actually like I'd like to have our live streams be, you know, an hour to 2 hours like we've been doing, and then just get good enough where I could go back to the episodes and like make our YouTube videos kind of like just the highlights, you know? Like if we get on like a good comedic riff or something, or there's a topic that we get on, like
kind of like how most YouTube videos are,
right? Like because like with live streams, there's always some downtime. Ooh, Addie knows how to teach. Honestly, Addie, I would absolutely love to learn a basic movie maker program that's not, you know, 10 years expired.
That's true. That's she knows all the Adobe suite, and I'm sure some other stuff. Like, I don't know what's out there.
Well, if I were to use my laptop for editing, I mean, I've heard really good things about DaVinci, and yes, this is beautiful. Here's what I'm really looking for, because I've seen a lot of the comparisons on the on the intro sequence, but I haven't really seen anything of the actual planet. And I think I shared this with you before. My story with Metroid Prime is, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That looks so good. My Metroid Prime story is I played it in my bedroom at my mother's house. You remember that like little tiny room that I had? And like on, you know, like a tiny like tube TV. And I played it like in the dark because, you know, that's how I did my gaming back then. Like everyone was asleep and I would just game until 4 in the morning. But it was like looking into a window at like another world. And so this game, I remember it more than anything for being super atmospheric, and already just with this opening area, I'm loving how well that translates to, you know, 1080p graphics.
Extras.
This looks awesome.
Have you played Returnal?
The roguelike on PS5? Yeah, I haven't played it.
Okay, neither have I. I've heard it's a very pretty game. I mean, I know it's a pretty game because I've seen it on YouTube.
It's a PS5 exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's, as of maybe a couple days ago, it's on PC.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out one day.
See, I don't like roguelikes.
Is it a roguelike? I mean, it is like, because you die.
Yeah, like you die, you respawn, you do the same thing until you get it right. And I just don't like that style.
It's more Dark Soulsy, you know.
Is it?
Than roguelike. But I mean, obviously, the whole mechanic is that you're dying and trying it again. I
will say with that sentence, you've made me more interested in it than I've been since it came out. Like the graphics, very pretty, but
I'm just, you know,
not my cup of tea from what I've heard.
When you were mentioning that and like getting to this alien world where it's like this is just it has such an identity, you know, that I was kind of thinking about that game. It's like, yeah, that game does too. Just looking at people playing it, and it's like this I want to play this game. It looks really cool. But
like this game
hasn't gone down in price.
Oh, okay. Still $70. At
least I think on PC it's expensive. So I'm sure I could get it on PS5, but then I need a PS5.
You still don't have a PS5? Come on, man. That system's 2 years old. PS6 is coming out. All right, I don't have the charge beam. I was like, why is she not charging? I don't have the morph ball either. I have nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. What was I going to say? Oh, so even though this planet is, you know, for all intents and purposes, just like a series of interconnected corridors, the way that I experienced it on that like tiny tube TV, in the dark, like only on weekends, it really did feel like being transported to another world. And so even though it's not in the technical definition an open world game, though you could argue that all open world games owe their design philosophy to the Metroid series, like this was kind of my first open world experience. Sparks stares at PS3. Oh shit.
PS3 is still a good system.
It is, but I think I like it more for the reason that I like the Steam Deck, that I can like play all the classic PlayStation games on it.
Oh yeah, your PS3. I can't play
that's
PS2
right.
games
I have one
on
of the
mine.
old Fat Boys, yeah.
Yeah, you got the Spider-Man PS3.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play PS2 games on mine, but sometimes I forget you can still play PS1 games on it.
Yeah. Which is weird. Like that, I get
Yeah.
why they did it. It was to make more money off PS2 games that they were remastering for the PS3 near the end of its life cycle.
Oh, for sure. And they were saying, the Emotion Engine is so expensive. Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. Dude.
You were selling the PS2 for $100.
Well, and they were selling the
PS3
PS3 for fucking $600. Yeah, the Emotion Engine
the
better
beginning.
be in there.
Right.
Which ironically is what I paid for. Like that was one of the first consoles that I ever saved up my money and straight up paid for.
Yeah, and yeah, the most expensive one to date. Like,
yeah,
unless you count like the Jaguar or something.
Literally not even adjusting for inflation. It was more expensive than the PS5 is.
Yeah,
at its release. $600. How did I ever pull that off?
Yeah, right.
Working at a fucking grocery store because I had no other bills.
I mean, you didn't have to pay rent.
I had no rent, no car money that I owed.
Your dollars definitely went a lot farther.
Yeah, like I would get like a $90 paycheck some weeks when all I worked was the weekend. I'd be like, fuck yeah, $90. That'll get me through October.
$90 just to spend on bullshit, you know?
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was. Like I saved.
Yeah.
I mean, I tucked a little bit away for like, nights out, or I think I had the vague notion that I would probably have expenses of my own in college, but I didn't put like anything substantial away at all during that time. I just spent what I made.
Am I hallucinating this? Because I very well could be. Are the doors, maybe because of loading, like are they opening just a hair quicker?
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
But
I mean,
like
everything is so smooth. I mean, like the other thing that I'm noticing is just the 60 FPS.
Like they are. Oh yeah.
that is a big difference. Like even just like the way Samus moves, I wouldn't describe it as floaty, but it definitely feels smoother.
Yeah.
Like way smoother.
I'm gonna have to look at some more comparison videos and see like the timing and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like the doors opened slow or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm wondering because it feels different. But like you, it's been a long time since I played this game.
The last time I played it was the Metroid Prime trilogy.
Oh, that's
which
nice.
I picked up used at a GameStop, and it was already rare then in 2012. Like it was hard to find.
Oh, the trilogy on the Wii.
Yeah, and so when I saw it, I was like, "Oh fuck, jumping on that!" And so I picked it up and I played it then. And what was I gonna say? Oh,
yeah,
that was the last time I played it. So about 10 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, even that one, seeing comparison videos, like I think that was they did that one in widescreen, didn't they?
Yeah, they did change it out of the 4:3 aspect ratio, which was nice.
Yeah, and then apparently the graphics were like a little sharpened.
They added like some particle effects and like some bloom lighting and stuff like that wasn't in the original.
There was a slight difference, nothing like this.
But like here, like instead of bloom lighting, like that has its own like soft glow sort of thing and transparency effects.
This is definitely at the point where I do think it stretches the remastered title a little bit because it's like, okay, maybe not a remake, but this is more than a
because
remaster.
you can tell it definitely has the same skeleton. Like it feels, like FF7 or Resident Evil 2 didn't feel like the original games. Like
no, not at all.
Not even a little bit.
The spirit for sure, but as far as the game, no.
This feels exactly like it, and the map is a 1-to-1 recreation. It's just that you're right. Yeah. It's more than a remaster in that everything about it has. It's not just like a fresh coat of paint. Like the polygon count has definitely been increased.
Yeah, and I know like the laziest remasters, they'll literally like just throw something through a filter or have AI kind of fill in, like sharpen some things. Most remasters, they make a lot of new assets.
Yeah.
But this is like, yes, it's the exact same skeleton, like 1-to-1, but
it was done with
obviously
love.
every asset is different.
Yes.
Every texture is different. Not like they just threw the old stuff out and we're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna make it look similar, but just recreate it.
Well, like I said, I'm so glad that we're doing it this way because, you know, I actually picked up a copy of Metroid Prime for the GameCube used like last fall with the intent of playing it on this channel using the GameCube.
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Yeah,
like
it's a wonderful game, and
I think we've mentioned like Trilogy is coming to the Switch. Like, oh, it's definitely coming to the Switch. So this was a surprise. Like to have such a remaster. Yes, it's only one of the 3 games, but I figured it was just going to be here's the 3 games, and maybe they're slightly improved again. Right. This is like
even if that is the case
between
with
a
the other
remaster
two,
and a remake.
Yeah, even if that is the case with the other two, the fact that we got this one, which is absolutely the best Metroid,
best
Prime,
one, yeah.
And not saying that the other two are bad. It's just like they never quite got like the same sense of awe that this game inspired. Yeah, like I would be happy even if this were all that we got.
Yeah, and who knows? Like, I don't know. It's a part of me thinks, okay, the Switch is selling like gangbusters. It's doing so well that they're gonna, you know,
yeah, they're gonna milk it as long as they can. Oop, I went the wrong way.
Even if they thought they're gonna do like a Switch Pro or something, like maybe they're just gonna, milk it as long as possible. And then part of me is like, well,
and I kind of think that like even like the follow up console to the Switch will be more like a Switch 2 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like from the Wii U to the Switch, it was a totally different system, and the Wii was so successful that the Wii U, like the reason people were confused is because they couldn't tell if it was like an add-on or a whole new console.
System. Yeah,
I do think that Nintendo will have learned from that and make it different enough. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could, whatever system Nintendo does next, if you couldn't just put your Switch cartridges in it and have it run automatically.
Yeah, I think that's almost like necessity because they don't want to alienate this huge like base of Switch players.
Yeah, all they really have to do is like make it, you know, better graphics, updated stuff, just stuff like that, because the concept of the Switch is so good that everyone is doing it right now. Like the whole idea of remote play wasn't even in the vernacular until Nintendo came along and was like, hey, what if there was a console that you could take with you on the go, and then as soon as you get home, plug it into your TV?
Yeah,
and
like
of
all
course,
the power is there.
And of course, Sony and Microsoft didn't have anything like that, like hardware, so they reverse engineered it. They came up with the concept of remote play so that, you could take your PS4, Xbox, whatever games with you on the go, but of course, because you can't take the hardware with you, it never quite feels right. Like remote playing on your phone is cool, and for like RPGs, it's awesome.
I was gonna say, it's definitely cool, and I think Xbox is doing it a lot better than PlayStation right now.
Absolutely.
But even the remote play, like with the PlayStation, is really cool. Steam also does a really good job with it.
But at the same time, like I've never left the house and remembered to turn on my PS5 or my PC before I left.
For sure.
I've never once done that.
No, it is a weird extra step. Like I'm not gonna do that either, unless it was like, I'm out of the house for 6 hours and I know
I'm gonna want to game.
I need something to entertain myself because either it's unplanned or whatever.
Which again is where the Steam Deck is so phenomenal.
Yeah, but like the Switch filled, a gap there. There's not going to be a 1-to-1 replacement as far as like streaming for a very long time. It already feels really good.
Yeah,
we're already 80-90% of the way there, but getting like 100% of the way there is going to be really challenging.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So stuff like the Steam Deck and the Switch, they obviously have their place, and Yeah, so you're right. As far as like if the Switch is going to do something new, it's just like just be more powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Have some quality of life features,
Yeah,
but
and make
don't
it
introduce a new gimmick.
Exactly. Make it visually distinct enough that people aren't going to get it confused for just another upgrade to the Switch. But that's kind of the line you have to walk. And in the 90s it was real easy because technology was moving forward at such a rate in video games that just by slapping 16-bit on your next console, it was like, oh shit, the future is here.
It's the next thing.
It's the next thing, right? That was very clearly marketable. But in an era where there are iPhone games that look as good as console games, you have to be careful about how you market your system. So is it just an upgrade to my Switch, or an add-on, or is it like a whole new generation of hardware?
Is it the Switch Pro?
Right.
Or is it these?
Yeah.
New
Whatever they
games
do,
they
better not. They better not call it the Switch Pro or even have the word Switch in the title.
Yeah, unless it truly is a Switch Pro, then these Switch Pro games better work on the old Switches.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if it's a new console and new games only work on the new console because, they want to make more powerful games, better games.
And I know there is...
they can't call it a Switch.
Yeah, I know there is a demand for a Switch Pro, but my kind of thought on that is... if they have any intention of doing that, they really shot themselves in the foot with the OLED. Because that would just make it totally superfluous. And would almost be like a slap in the face to the people who bought it.
Yes, I agree. At the same time, they've had success with that. Depending on how successful the system is, they'll just keep milking. They did that with the DS.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that Nintendo. Popular. I'm not saying that Nintendo wouldn't absolutely do that. I'm saying they would be foolish to. Because the Wii U absolutely proved that Nintendo is not invulnerable, and they will lose. For sure. And they will lose their audience mistakes when they get complacent.
Yeah, they can make some big mistakes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could definitely see, because the Switch is so successful, that and yeah, that's the thing. It's once the OLED first came out, I was like, oh, they're not doing a Switch Pro,
right?
But I think about it, it's just the Switch is still the sales are slowing down, but it's still going to give it 2 or 3 years. It's going to be the second or third most bought system of all time. I think it just surpassed the Game Boy.
Oh yeah.
Recent, which is Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only systems that have sold, and it's been out for 6 years. I think the only systems that have sold better than the Switch are. It might already be in third place.
I think the PS2 is still the top, and then the DS right behind that.
Is number 2.
Then you might be right. Maybe the Switch. I can see why. It is it's such a sleeper system for me. When I think back on my favorite games of the last generation, I think of things like The Witcher or Persona or Dragon Quest XI or titles like that. But then when I think of just the system with the sheer number of really awesome games that I've loved to play, the Switch has it. Absolutely.
For sure.
The Switch took off with Breath of the Wild, and then less than a year later had Mario Odyssey. And its momentum never stopped. It has consistently put out excellent first and third party titles that have just been awesome to play.
And as far as a lot of their first party titles, they ended up being the best sellers in that series.
Yeah.
Kirby, Lost World, bestseller in the series.
Dread honestly revived the Metroid franchise because
Yeah.
They hadn't released like a regular
anything
Metroid game in such a long time because they're like, oh, nobody bought Federation Force, oh, the series is dead.
Or Hunters, yeah.
It's like, oh, why don't people like Metroid anymore? No, they don't.
I'm so glad
the stupid things that you're doing with Metroid.
I also think Prime definitely saved Metroid too.
Oh yeah. But you have to remember this game is 20 years old.
That's true, for sure. I'm just saying, like, Metroid
so
is never...
It was so long in between releases that it needed saved again.
Yeah, exactly. It's sad. Metroid is such a good series, and it's, up until recently, like, Dread did good everywhere.
Yeah, Dread was an absolute success, which makes me so happy because it probably means that we'll be seeing more Metroid games in the near future instead of, like, another decade down the road.
Yeah, and if Mercury, I forgot the name of the company, Steam, Steam.
Mercury Steam, yeah.
Yeah, they could totally do the next one. Like they did such a good job with.
Yeah. Well, and not only that though. Apparently, this even though it came out of freaking nowhere, the Prime remaster is doing so well that I think they're probably going to wake up and finally start taking the Prime 4 development seriously.
I really hope that we see something about that this year, because they were saying it, and then like development completely restarted, and I'm glad that Retro's back at the helm.
I'm getting some FF15 vibes though.
Yeah, for sure, me too. But I'm glad they switched companies completely. Like, just went back to Retro,
right? Because apparently, like, you could tell development was really troubled.
Yeah, but the fact that they just started over, one was a little scary, but two, we haven't heard anything for years since it started over.
Right.
Which tells me, like, oh, they actually literally started over. Like, scrapped it. And I feel like most companies wouldn't do that. They'd be like, okay, let's bring Tabata-san in and let's kind of save this thing. And leave a lot on the cutting room floor.
What are you doing today, Shiggy? Get over here.
It's also like...
I'm 63 years old. I really need to retire. Get the fuck to work, Shiggy. Stop talking crazy.
Get that beautiful mind to work. You ain't never retiring.
I do love Nintendo's game development, even if their business is not great, and has some like really anti-consumer bullshit a lot of the time. But I kind of get the feeling that like that same anti-consumer bullshit that is, screwing over their fan base in a lot of ways is also what's keeping Shigeru Miyamoto at the helm of so many games. I mean, the guy's a creative genius and a wonderful human being, but he's not going to live forever. And they're like all of Nintendo's major IPs still have him at the helm. And so, like, I think when he retires, or God forbid dies, there's going to be there's going to be a pretty dark couple of years there when Nintendo has to like reorient itself. And
that's true. And it's like, I know that he's not as big of an influence as he was. Like, he's not the director of any games anymore, but it's still like Anuma, like all these people who are basically creating these games, they go to Shiggy for approval.
Yes.
Like, hey,
he's got to green light it. He's got to have creative input. And don't get me wrong, like I said, it's good that he's involved because he's a genius. But at the same time, like, they've got to have a successful IP or series that has nothing to do with him.
And that's tough because it seems like any idea that's floated, they bring it to him, and it's like, I get why.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to make sure that you have a lot of the company and a lot of the IP can survive without him. And I know it will. I know it'll survive.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of getting
dark time.
Right. Well, and the fact that Nintendo's business department is so cutthroat and nasty these days, I'm kind of almost worried that like what happened to Hideo Kojima could happen to him.
Oh yeah.
Like where the company that he helped build just consumes him. Which sucks.
Like, I'm fucking out of here.
I would boycott some Nintendo products at that point.
Oh, I get it. And Kojima's young, so obviously he's like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Shiggy would be like, fuck this, I'm moving to the mountains. Like,
oh yeah. Though Kojima's not that young. I mean, the dude's been making games since the 90s.
He's what, in his early 40s, mid 40s?
No, he would have had to develop Metal Gear Solid at age like 15.
When he was like 15 or something.
He's got to be mid to late 50s.
I can't say mid 50s though.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
look it up.
I'm gonna say
how old is Shigeru? Or how old is Hideo Kojima?
I'm gonna say Kojima's 51. Let's see.
All right, you're calling 51. I'm gonna call 56. I'm gonna give you a 5-year buffer.
Kojima. Holy shit! This guy's a vampire. He's 59.
Whoa, shit.
He's
okay.
59.
So he's about Shigeru Miyamoto's age.
I was like, this dude's probably like 20 years old, like making Metal Gear. Because that's the thing. That's right. It's not just Solid. He was the director behind Metal Gear, like on the MSX.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Okay, I forgot about.
Oh yeah, that was the 80s, not the 90s, Chris.
That was the 80s.
Yeah. Shit.
God. Late 80s, but still.
Kind of makes me feel older too. But
Although,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if those were great games, but he definitely had. He was
they
still
were,
an idea man back then.
I was gonna say, even if they weren't always great games, they were revolutionary games because he really helped kind of implement the whole idea of stealth as an element in video gaming.
Yeah.
Even before Metal Gear Solid made it possible for him to actually, bring home some of those concepts.
And he was making like stories. Like this game had a narrative, even if it wasn't 100% in the game. And this was at a time when most games' story would be like 3 sentences in the manual.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. He had like dialect. Sparks. He's actually 590. They just hide the 0. He's Keanu Reeves. He's the Japanese Keanu Reeves.
Wait, that was okay. That was I was like, what show was that? There was, I don't know if you ever watch Inside Job on Netflix. That was a whole thing where a lot of the Hollywood elite, it's like the whole conspiracy of they're eating stem cells and blah blah blah.
Of course.
That was basically one of the episodes where it's like, yeah, they are doing that, and Keanu Reeves is like a vampire or something. It's pretty good.
Oh, Keanu, you're too good for this world. Dude, yeah, Keanu Reeves and who's Ant-Man? Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Oh, Paul Rudd. I swear he looks literally younger. Like, okay, dude, actually not right now.
Yeah.
I think he's finally starting to show his age.
Just a little bit. But like, by show his age, I mean he looks like he's in his late 30s finally.
Yeah, he looks at least 15 years younger than he actually is.
Right.
When he's definitely in his 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they probably wanted him to look older for Quantumania because it's like, hey,
yeah, but all that means is they just like did less.
Yeah,
they just did less digital touch up on him.
Yeah. But yeah, some people, it's just like, Jesus, they got some good genes. Like,
yeah. Well,
also,
you know what's really
weird?
With
some people that have some good genes, and I don't know if it's just like a Filipino thing, but I know some people that look literally 15 years younger than they are. Like, oh, you're about the same age as me. You're in your 30s.
I was gonna say,
I'm 50.
I've noticed that Asian people in general sort of have a difficult time aging in the way that we traditional mortals do.
Yeah,
I got to be real careful with that kind of language, but you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. It's I get it.
I mean it as it's complimentary racism.
You're towing the line of they're good at math. I didn't say they're bad at math.
Right?
It's a compliment, God.
All I was saying is I need some pearls of wisdom. No. What was I going to say? Oh, so another random celebrity who looks younger now than he did when I first remember him. Have you fucking seen Drew Carey lately?
No.
Dude, the dude lost like 80 pounds and...
I have seen that. Yeah, but...
I mean, he looks about his age, but given that in the 90s, I assumed he was in his 50s. You know?
Oh.
But
he looks good. He's probably in his 60s or something.
Yeah,
right?
He's in his early 60s. Yeah, he's in his early 60s, but,
Yeah, he lost weight and he kept it off. Like,
yeah, he like takes care of himself, and he's always been like a really cool, just nice man. And so you know, it kind of makes me happy that his health is finally doing well, because he had like a heart episode and I think some other stuff, or diabetes or something like that. And he just kicked it. He just it's like, okay, I'll start taking care of myself. And...
yeah, he's lost that weight and he's had it off since like 2008 or something.
Yeah,
like,
somewhere in the last decade or so.
Or
2008 is no longer the last decade.
No, it is not.
Shit. But yeah, no, he's doing good. And like I just happened to see him. I was at like the dentist or something, and I saw The Price is Right. I'm like, oh shit, that's Drew Carey. He's looking great.
He's still doing it, and he's definitely, I feel like, comfortable in The Price is Right. That's where he's going to retire, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But which is like, why not? That's
right. It's like one of those things like couldn't happen to a nicer guy, and just funny comedian, does a whole bunch of really wonderful charity work. He professed libertarian views, but then when he saw what Trump was doing, supported Biden. So I got to respect that.
Yeah.
And you know, libertarianism isn't of itself necessarily like the cancer on society that, you know, far right propaganda is. Like libertarianism is more like legitimate, leave it up to the people sort of stuff. It kind of has some conservative bent, but it's also like the last thing a libertarian would ever do is tell you how you can or can't live your life, which I respect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Libertarianism, like the core tenets of it, I disagree with. I get the idea of like, hey, just don't mess with me, I won't mess with you kind of thing.
Right. Like I can see the appeal. Right. No,
it's not
definitely.
Fascism,
it's almost a reaction away from fascism within the conservative movement.
Yeah, that's true.
So long story short, I just happened to see Drew Carey the other day. I'm like, Drew Carey looks fucking good. Am I jealous of
maybe all
Drew
age
Carey?
like him?
Yeah, right. He went from aging like milk to aging like wine.
Right. Yeah.
Go figure. But yeah, no, like it was really funny because I have some really fond memories of the Drew Carey show from the late 90s, and like I said, he kind of just looks exactly how I remember him, which doesn't account for the fact that he's aged 20 plus years since then.
Yeah, and gone down like probably 70, 80 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, good for him. Good man. Oh, did I tell you? Oh, I haven't told you. Sarah and I are about to do a cleanse together.
Ooh, what kind of cleanse?
So it's the one where you cut out food groups and then reintroduce them to see like if anything makes you feel bloated or sluggish or shitty, and then
is it Whole30?
No, I forget what. I'm not sure if it has a name.
Okay.
But like, and it's actually like a doctor recommended thing. So like, you order a packet from your nutritionist, and they give you like a month's supply of these like smoothies for lunch, and then they like it's not like a strict like you must eat this on this day, but they help you come up with like a meal plan.
Okay.
Come on. Oh shit. Yes, I know how to dodge. I just got caught up in the wall. So yeah, we're gonna do that and just see like what, if any, food groups are like the reason that I have such trouble like actually knocking weight off consistently.
Gotcha. Now, how long before you actually start introducing food, like the first groups again?
So you're off of so the whole program actually is only 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So it's 21 days, and for the first 10 days you're on an all veggie and smoothie diet.
Okay.
And then after those 10 days are up, that's where you start reintroducing shit.
Okay, gotcha. So you give your body plenty of time to, the crap I've ate doesn't,
right. So like
what's going on.
What the nutritionist told me is like for the first like 5 days you're gonna feel like shit. Then you're gonna start feeling really good. And then when you're feeling really good and you like can tell the difference, that's when it's time to start reintroducing foods, because if any of them do have just like a bad reaction with your biochemistry, you're gonna notice it right away. So like I felt really awesome Tuesday, and then on Wednesday
Samus just fucking died.
Right? Samus is dead.
Just
oh god. That's what I always thought about seeing the Morph Ball in 3D. Like, ow! Like, you don't get that in the Super Nintendo.
Like, Samus wasn't strong enough for the gravity suit yet.
No. But, so like, Tuesday I feel great.
Gluten,
then Wednesday I introduced dairy, and now I feel like shit. Maybe my body doesn't handle dairy very well.
Yeah, which most people don't, I guess. But unless you're the whitest
like,
of
surprisingly
whites.
so. But like... I've never.
Addie's mentioning gluten.
Yeah,
she's off of gluten right now.
Oh, really?
She's doing pretty well with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Or certainly, when she eats a lot of it right now, that it's just like, oh, is this really doing anything? And then eat a bit of gluten. It's like, oh shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tony Hawk this shit. Come on.
Yeah, right. Come on, Samus. Do a grind.
Do a grind.
Do a thingy. Do a thingy off the rail. Do something. Yeah, I was surprised to read that too. Like how many people have a problem with dairy and just never realize it, because for those of us who grew up in the '90s with that bogus fucking food pyramid, it was like one of the the Dairy Farmers of America made sure that you had your 3 servings of dairy a day.
Dairy, I know, right? Jesus.
And fucking whole grain. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my whole grains. Like, bread is going to be the hardest thing for me to go 10 days without, and that's probably the first thing that I'll reintroduce.
That makes you fat.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, bread makes you fat. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that I'll find any foods that I really just can't have. I might be surprised. But it's more like I still believe that my problem is just like impulse control. You know, I'll do really good for like up through lunch. I'll get home and I'm like, and it's not necessarily even unhealthy foods. I just gorge. I'm just like, okay, I
get it.
I had, you know, a yogurt for breakfast and you know, a protein, a whole grain bar or something for lunch. And then half a bag of Sun Chips as soon as I get home. I
can stick to what I want to stick to for a while, and then it's just like, oh, peanut butter. I can have like a 3 spoonfuls.
A jar of peanut butter. No.
Yeah. That is
and then
I'm
and
not
then the
embellishing
worst,
that whatsoever.
Right. And then the worst part of it is what I do is like, okay, I guess this is a cheat day. Might as well go all out.
Okay.
And then raisin toast for breakfast, yogurt and a protein bar for lunch, soup and a salad for dinner, a pizza for night snack. It's a cheat day now.
Fuck it, why not? Go hard.
I will say in the last like 2 years, I'm never quite that bad, but you know, I still recognize that about myself. I'm just, why am I like this? Oh shit.
No, I get you.
But you know, and that's the other thing. Like, even if it turns out you don't really have any intolerances, like the whole idea behind this program is to just sort of help you develop habits, and like, you know, by the first like 3 or 4 days, making you actually hungry, it kind of helps you to read your body's signs for when you're legit hungry versus when you're just bored. Sure. And you want to put something in your mouth.
I'm hesitant to say any food is like, oh, you absolutely can't have that. I mean, outside of like someone has celiac disease. Or
like with an actual food allergy. Yeah.
Yeah. But certainly it's just like, again, with dairy, most people...
Right. It interacts with different bodies differently. Yeah.
You're going to get gas. You're going to get this or that. Mm-hmm. But also cheese and butter taste amazing.
Yep.
So, and not even to joke. It's like, okay...
Right.
This doesn't mean you take it out of your life. Just know
how
it affects your body.
Right. That's what my nutritionist said. She was like, yeah, I absolutely like when I do dairy, like I bloat up immediately, but you know, I'm not going to stop eating cheese. So like she basically just gives herself more of like a buffer between when she has it. So like, you know, do you really need cheese on your breakfast sandwich, which already tastes good without it? Or do you need cheese in your, you know, 6-inch Subway sub when it's already got mayo?
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so she's just like more deliberate with where she has certain dairies, which is good because, you know, like it's ridiculous. And part of it probably is like that old 90s, you know, corporate food pyramid mentality. That like you have to include this in everything, and so like restaurants now have to have cheese on everything, even if it doesn't really fucking need cheese. Mm-hmm. Oh God! No
cheese!
No!
Oh God!
The next save point we'll call it. By the way, I'm just having so much fun.
You're talking about like the first 5 days feeling like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like. The closest thing I can think of to a cleanse like that is when we did Whole30.
Okay.
And, you know, as far as like not having, I mean, carbs was definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, bread is my jam.
When it came to that, it was like, hey, you know, am I going to have, it was like, oh, sugar cravings. It's like, okay, am I really going to have sugar cravings? Like, I don't even eat that many sweets when I don't want to. Like, I'm not a big sweets guy. And then it's just like 3 days in of like absolutely no carbs pretty much.
Yeah.
It would be like, man, a cracker just sounds so good right now. Like
Fucking
all of a sudden,
rich cracker. That's all I want, man. Please.
your brain is like imagining the cracker melting in your mouth and
Oh,
stuff,
God.
and it's just like,
This is
what
good
the
as
fuck,
suck.
brain?
This is good as suck.
It's good you're doing it with Sarah. Like you
Yeah.
got someone to do
Yeah,
it with. But...
she's essentially just on as my emotional support to find out if she has any like food intolerances.
Oh, I gotcha.
I'm in it to lose like fucking 10 pounds.
Excuse you. Everything needs cheese. Okay. Yeah. Cheese is amazing.
I love me some cheese, but
Yeah.
again, like so like
cheese
one place
saved...
where I notice it is do you ever go to Five Guys?
Yeah,
I never get the cheeseburger because the regular burgers taste so fucking good.
that's true.
Yeah.
They are really good.
And that's like the one place where like I somehow gain
Yeah, it sucks,
self-awareness, and I'm like,
It's the
I
worst.
don't need cheese on this.
I went the opposite route the other day when Addie and I. Hey, there we go. Addie and I made sushi,
Mhm.
which we've been meaning to do for a while,
Nice.
and so I had a lot of leftover fish sticks, and
Fuck
it's
outta
like,
here.
okay, what am I gonna do with these damn fish sticks? And then I thought about Chinese buffets
Yeah.
and how how they are profitable and how they scrape the bottom of the barrel, and it's just like, oh yeah, you go to a Chinese buffet and they'll just have fucking imitation crab meat
Mhm.
and like cheese,
And cheese.
just like,
And that's sushi.
and so it's like I'm
Fuck
gonna
you, it's sushi.
mix some of this leftover sushi rice with some imitation crab meat
Mm-hmm.
and some soy sauce, and I'm gonna throw some cheese on it,
Yeah, why the
and it
fuck
was
not?
tasty. Let me tell you, it was really good. Oh.
And that's the other thing too. Like my approach to food is like I need to stop rewarding myself with it, but I'm not going to go so far as to be like one of those people where if it's not green, it's poison.
Oh, for
because,
sure. You don't want to restrict either.
No,
like,
because
a
like
cleanse is something
yeah,
different.
I don't want to live to be 120 years old and just think to myself like, why the fuck didn't I have that pizza? Like I was in fucking New York and I didn't have a slice of pizza. Fuck that.
Sure.
I'm definitely not going that far, and
needed to
don't
live.
intend to. Like, yeah, right. You wanna live and enjoy yourself, and essentially though, like when I got to my heaviest, like I wasn't really enjoying myself, and like I said, it was a lot of depressive eating, just eating to make myself feel better. And so I've already stopped that, which is a good sign, but I've kind of just plateaued in my weight loss. And so, yeah, I just want to figure out why and fix it.
Gotcha.
And part of it is still impulse control. Like I get home, I'm tired, and I just want to snack, and then I snack too much.
Yeah, I get you. And it's just like, there's the
All right, now we're
depressed
actually quitting.
eating, but there's also just like, oh, it's been a hard day.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
wanna get a little dopamine or something.
Yeah,
feel
that's exactly
nice.
right. Yep. All right. This game fucking kicks so much ass, and I'm remembering how much ass it kicks. So, yeah, get your ass back here within the week, and let's get a second episode in.
All right, and now we got kind of like 3 projects, but yeah, for sure. Let's.
Oh yeah, we got to do The
let's get
Last
going
of
with
Us and
this.
talk about The Last of Us TV show.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah. So you're current on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I was this last episode. Is...
Yeah. Like I said, let's not talk about it just yet. We're definitely doing it though.
All right, man. Well, you have a good night.
Have a good night, baby.
All right.
Night, Sparks. Thanks for staying awake.
Yeah. Thanks. Night, peeps.
And I think Addie's gone, but bye, Eddie. And bye-bye to you, viewer. And now a word from NordVPN.